Here I would like to explain about the principles of modern software management. Previously, we had discussed about the principle of conventional software engineering. So here the principle of modern software management. So here the totally 10 principles of modern software management. Okay. Now we will discuss one by one. First one is base the process on an architecture first approach. So first principle is base the process on an architecture approach. So in the modern software management, so each and every software, the first we can build the architecture. So this architecture importance is the achieving among the driving requirements, architecturally significant design decisions, and the life cycle plans before the resources are committed for full scale development. Okay, that is the importance of architecture for modern software management. And second principle is establish an iterative life cycle process that confront risk early. So second principle is establish an iterative life cycle process that confront risk early. So here most of the softwares is not developed in linear model. So in the linear model means entire problem, entire design solution, entire built software, then test and then end the product in sequence. So which is not possible in modern days. So in the modern days, so we go for the iterative life cycle process. So in the iterative life cycle process, so we can give the better solution and better problem understanding and effective plan over the several iterations. Okay, and also it is encourages the balanced treatment of all stakeholder objectives. So those are the benefits we are using the iterative life cycle process. And go for the third principle is transitioning design method to emphasize component based development. So the third principle is transitioning design method to emphasize component based development. So in this principle we denotes the most of the softwares are developed in component based approach. So not lines of code, so line of code mentality. So line of code mentality means so we can write each and every line for the problem. Okay, so it is not possible to write by hand, to write by hand of the problem. So here we can imported component. So based on this component, so we can give the solution for the problem. Okay, by importing these components to reduce the amount of human generated source code and custom development. Okay, so the component is nothing but a cohesive set of pre-existing lines of code, either the source or executable format, which is defined interface and behavior. This is the third one. Okay, and coming to the fourth one is establish a change management environment. So change management environment, this is the fourth principle. So the dynamic of iterative development including concurrent workflows by different teams working on shared artifact necessary objectively controlled baselines. So here, so most of the teams are working in a project in concurrently. So by working this concurrently, we can share different artifacts. Okay, so this is the fourth principle. And coming to the fifth principle is enhance change freedom through tools that support round trip engineering. So the fifth principle is it support round trip engineering. Okay, so here the round trip engineering is nothing but, so this is the environment support necessary to automate and synchronize engineering information in different formats. So round trip engineering is nothing but it support environment support necessary to automate and synchronize engineering information in different formats. Okay, so different formats means such as requirement specification, design model, source code, executable code, and test cases. So we can support at all these formats. Okay, this is the round trip engineering. So most of the principle, these top 5 principle are most of the very important principle in modern software management. Okay, so then all these principles are followed in iterative process. Okay, so which is shown in below diagram. Then coming to the sixth principle is capture design artifacts in Regius model based notations. So the sixth principle, we know that a model based approach which support a systematically or semantically, okay, semantically rich graphical and textual design notations, okay, which is easily understand by the different users. So once the project is defined in model based, so we can easily understanding the entire project. So in the example, for example, so we can use the UML language, that is unified modeling language. So we are using unified modeling language, entire project we can easily understanding. So this is the sixth principle. And seventh principle is instrument the process for objective quality and control progress assessment. So the seventh principle is instrument the process for objective quality control and progress assessment. So here the life cycle assessment of the progress and quality of all intermediate products must be integrated into the process. Okay, so once we can integrated all these process, we can achieve a best quality of the process. So this is the seventh principle. So and next one is eighth one, use a demonstration based approach to access intermediate artifacts. So demonstration, so here we can use the demonstration based approach to access the intermediate artifacts. So this is the eighth principle. And ninth principle is plan intermediate releases in groups of usage scenarios with evaluating levels of details. So plan intermediate releases in group of usage scenarios with evaluating levels of details. So this is the ninth principle. And coming to the 10th principle is establish a configurable process that is economically scalable. So this is the 10th principle. So I can explain this principle. So there is no single process is suitable for all software development. So a pragmatic process framework must be configurable to a broad spectrum of applications. Okay, the process must ensure that there is a economically of scale and returns of investment by exploring a common process spirit. Okay, so that means the meaning of this principle is, so there is no single process is suitable for all softwares. So there is a combination of different process is a, that is a combination of different process framework is suitable for one spectrum of applications. So this spectrum of applications, the suitable process, all these suitable process with our economically good, and it will give the a better returns of investment. So that is the meaning of this principle. Okay, these are the total 10 principles is modern software management. Okay, and the next topic is transitioning to an iterative process. So previously in the second principle we said that transitioning to an iterative process. So previously we are using linear model, linear process. So in the linear process we have so many problems. So linear model in have so many problems. So why? Because here one phase is completely depends on another phase. So once we have to finish completely, that is 100% in requirement analysis phase, we go for the design phase. Once we completed in design phase 100%, we go for the coding phase. Like this, we can finish 100% in one phase, we go for the next phase. So this is not possible in most of the software developments. Okay, so that's why you go for the iterative process. Okay, so by we go for the iterative process to building a core architecture until the desired level of functionality, performance and robustness are achieved. Okay, so here the most of the cases why we follow the iterative process means, so these are the application precedenceness, and then process flexibility, and then architecture risk solution, and then team cohesion, and then software process maturity. So these are the reasons we go for the iterative process. Okay, so the reasons are process flexibility, architecture risk resolution, team cohesion and software maturity. Okay, and then application precedences. So we will discuss it one by one briefly. So first we go for the application precedences. So here most of the process projects, domain experience is a critical factor. Okay, for understanding how to plan, how to execute a software development project. Okay, so here the most whatever the project we are preparing, so we can have the domain experience. Okay, so here this is one of the primary reason that software industry has moved to the iterative life cycle process. Early iterations in the life cycle establish precedents from which the product, the process and the plan can be elaborated in varying levels of details. And second one is process flexibility. So here the process flexibility, most of the project artifacts must be supported efficient change management with project needs. Okay, and also a configurable process that allows a common framework to be adapted across a range of products is necessary to achieve a software returns of investment. Okay, uh, next, architecture risk resolution. So we can use the first principle is architecture first approach. Here the architecture is a crucial factor underlying a successful iterative development process. Okay, and then next one is team cohesion. So team cohesion is nothing but successful teams are cohesive and cohesive teams are successful. So cohesive teams avoid source of the project troubleness and entropy that may result from difficulties in synchronizing project stakeholder expectations. And last one is software process maturity. Okay, the Software Engineering Institute Capability Maturity Model CMM is a well accepted benchmark of software process assessment. So that means every company we have one CMM levels. So this is the benchmark of our software. Okay, so suppose the CMM level 5 company, so that is one grade for our companies. So that so most of the software process maturities, so we use the CMM levels. Okay, so this is the why the transitioning to iterative process. So this is the end of your second unit.